Hi, welcome to Conversations with Regina. I'm Regina, and you are you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got a huge show going on today. My good friend Louise is here, and and I'm here. And what more could we need than the two of us chatting it up? Life is good. But first, let's take care of the business. Welcome to my show. This is Conversations with Regina, and let me see if I can get that like, subscribe, be notified up there. I'd love it if you give us a like. I'd love it if you would subscribe, and for your own benefit, click the bell. Be notified. Get notified of everything I do. Woo-hoo. And then we're brought to you. I own Ray's Roast. So Ray's Roast pretty much brings you this program every week. And last week we did the coffee tour, and keep in mind that all the coffees that I have come through Tim. Tim sells me those coffees that I have. And some are fabulous. We do good coffee here. I'm an international shipper. I even ship to Canada on occasion. It's expensive, though. Don't think that you'll get your coffee for without proper tariffs and whatnot. Oh my God, I'm surprised people reorder from up there. Anyway, life is good. Some things going on down around here. I think that I've signed on now to become the moderator at gender support group here in our local town. They were not doing anything, and there was a suicide last week of a 28-year-old trans woman, and my therapist suggested maybe I should start this gender support unit, and so I guess I've agreed to do that. It's the important thing. If we want to have a community, we need to be there for each other. And I don't want soapbox for a real long time, but let's build each other up and not tear each other down. We're all pretty sensitive. And so, my public service announcement, if anybody would like to join me for our gender support group, it'll be mostly local girls here, but it will be Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock. And if you want, just hit me up on Facebook Messenger and I'll give you the link. And it'll be a Zoom meeting. So you'll be able to talk back, and we'll have some simple community guidelines to kind of follow. And so now I would like to, before I get to Louise, let's just keep in mind that there are places to get help out there if we need it. I should be more responsible and post some up down below, and I don't. We should be taking care of that soon now that I have more responsibilities. But anyway, without further ado, let's bring on my good friend and cohort here, Louise Richardson.
Hey, hi everybody.
Hi, Louise.
Hey, Regina.
So, you know what I forgot to do? Let's check in with the conversation
here indeed.
On the side before we get started. So Christy's here and Holly's here.
Uh-huh.
And
Casey.
Oh, hi, Casey. What are you groaning about?
Violin is here.
Who?
Violin. Violin.
Oh. How come I don't see her?
I don't know. I have the chat up on my
I do
cell
too.
phone. Well, she's down toward the bottom. You
There
need to
she is.
scroll down to the
Hi.
bottom. Yeah.
Hi, Violin. Good to see you. Okay, so talk away, my dear. What should we talk about? Tell me.
What would you like to know? What?
I want to know about how long have you been writing and making plays and all of that stuff.
That'll get me started. I transitioned in San Francisco in the 70s. I returned to Texas and I had my SRS in 1977 in September. And about February of 78, I moved to Texas. I lived in Galveston for a year before I moved back to Austin. And when I moved back to Austin, my sister had been in the drama department at the college that we both went to. And I thought, well, you have to have, you have to have been in high school drama and college drama to even audition. And I found out anybody could audition for plays. So I started auditioning for plays and I got into a few of them and I started writing them. And I went from there. I got one, it was a kind of a comedy, kind of Monty Python version of Hamlet that was produced after I'd already been in 2 productions of Hamlet as Gertrude, his mother. And halfway through the second production, I thought, I wonder what Monty Python would do with Hamlet. So I wrote my own version of it. And they did it at the late, great Capital City Playhouse. And it had a run for 7 weeks. And
Really?
7 performances, I'll say. Not 7 weeks, but 7 performances. So that...
Was it a musical or was it?
It was not a musical, although we had a couple of musical numbers in it. Like when Ophelia went crazy, she started singing, "I'm in love with a wonderful guy." So I'm as corny as Kansas in August. Anyway, and then I don't know why I decided a few years later that I would try to write a musical. And my neighbors had a computer and they could write music on it and print out the music. And I said, that's what I want to do. So I wrote music on a MIDI keyboard so I could print it out. And I worked on it for like 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And I kept trying to get theaters interested in it. And I finally asked for musical arrangers in our local. We have a local kind of news and entertainment tabloid called the Austin Chronicle. And I got a couple of bites. And one of them was a singer-songwriter, music producer from a town 50 miles north of Austin. And so he started working on it, and he brought in a pianist to do. He did guitar parts, and he brought in a pianist to do the more orchestral things on the piano. And he talked to the head of the local theater. This is Salado, Texas, and so we got a cast together for a CD. We recorded the CD and released it. And then we got another cast together for our stage show in Salado, and we had 6 performances there. And then the next year we were able to do it in Austin. We had a full run there in an Austin theater at the City Theater in Austin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, to play the City Theater in Austin is a pretty big deal, isn't it?
Well, it's a small theater, or it was. It's a lot of these places have
Austin,
closed
Texas.
down now. Well, we had several theaters, and the City Theater was a smaller one, but there were 4 or 5 others.
Yeah, but
it was known. It was a known theater. As I say, Capital City Playhouse was the biggest one when it was there. Yeah, but and then I started. Then I got back. I had written poetry in college and when I was in San Francisco, and I wrote a play that hasn't been produced because it's about transsexuals, as we called them back in San Francisco, and basically about the time of my transition. And so that's up on the web, and so I had the main character write poetry to kind of chronicle her transition, what she saw around her.
Oh, okay.
And I might read a poem from that later if you like.
Okay.
And so I got into the local poetry scene, going to open mics, just as an excuse to sing some of my songs and get them out there, and then write and read poetry as well. So I've been doing that for the last 5 or 6 years. And well, on one of the local poetry festivals we went to in the town where I first had my musical performance, they had a yearly festival, and I entered some poetry in that, and then got more involved with the local poetry community. And while I was there, it being in the general area where my mother grew up, I had some ideas for a musical set in that area of Texas. And that's my current one, which we were going to perform last March, and then COVID hit.
Oh, Blue Bonnet Road.
Blue Bonnet Road. That's the second one, and we'll get it done someday. But
yeah,
but my friend and the music producer helped me with that as well. I was really happy that he hadn't given up on me after the first one. Although the first one did fairly well. It just we didn't get huge audiences, but some of them were okay.
Being huge doesn't really, it's kind of gratifying, but it's not the end all.
You want people to see it, and it's hard if it's an unknown quantity. If it's Oklahoma, people will come to see it. If it's a title they've never heard before, they're not as likely to see it.
Right.
I think both of them would be quite popular if enough people saw them. So.
Yeah, the last play that I was in last spring, was it last spring or 2 spring? I think it was a year ago in February. A year ago, last Valentine's Day. It was just a reader's theater, and it was written by somebody down in New Zealand. Or New Zealand, I think it was. And one of our locals was down there and thought it might be useful at our local theater here, and then I got to play the lead in it. And
hey, excellent! Congratulations!
Oh, it was like a 2-person deal. It was almost like a big soliloquy, but I had fun, and I thought our theater here was pretty outstanding for being in Eastern Washington, which is Redneck City.
Oh, yeah.
And allowing me even on the stage, let alone having the lead. Well, okay, we can get started now. Sarah's here.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. And so, have you had any of your poetry or anything published? Have
Yes, actually, that yearly festival I go to has published several times.
Oh,
Every
okay.
time I've gone, they've published it, and a few others. I don't really submit a lot of it,
Uh-huh.
but I think I write some good stuff, and that's all that matters to me.
Right.
And I also host 2 open mics, poetry open mics a month.
Oh, right.
That they were, they were in person before for a couple of years, and then COVID hit, and now we do it on Zoom.
And how's that working out?
It's working out okay. Not as many people tune in, I guess, because I have so many other Zoom meetings they can go to, other poetry readings.
Right.
But it does pretty well. The second one is the Austin Poetry Society open mic. So
Well, that would be a pretty hot ticket, wouldn't it?
you would think so, yeah. It's kind of more unofficial now that we're on Zoom, though. But we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, it's nice that you have access to the resources of a place like Austin, where it's a big artistic community.
It is. It really is.
And it's like one of the few places in Texas I haven't been, but I haven't been to Texas since 1967 now.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, I would think so.
I'll have you know that Austin is now the 11th largest city in the country by population.
So that means it's like several million people.
Not several million. It's 900,000. We're not China in this country. We don't have that many multi-million population cities. But yeah, Houston is number 4 in the country, and it's like a million and a half, I think, something like that. Maybe 2 million. Maybe 2 million.
So Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Houston,
yeah, and San Antonio and Dallas are also in the top 10.
No way.
Yeah.
San Antonio?
Yes, indeed, San Antonio. Actually, San Antonio passed Dallas in population a few years ago.
I am shocked. It's all because of the Alamo?
No. I don't know why it is not because of the Alamo. Forget the Alamo.
Oh, it's easy to forget the Alamo. Especially when you're just a fair-haired northern girl, Who cares about the damn Alamo? No, I always remember San Antonio because that's where Soul, Doug Somm, who I'm a big follower of his, even after, because he died in 99, I think it was. And I still listen to his music all the time.
Oh, cool. Oh, and Teresa is here. And Holly says, when I lived in Texas, I liked Austin as it was more accepting of everyone. I lived in Tyler, Texas.
Oh, cool.
Yay, Tyler Roses.
Hi, Alyssa LaFontaine and Teresa Hendrickson.
And there's Sarah.
Oh,
Sarah is Showgirl.
Oh my gosh, Alyssa's been here a long time. And we're getting around to saying hello now.
Sorry, Alyssa. Hi.
Oh, here's a question from Christy. Here, let's pop that on the screen.
All right, definitely. Get my
Have you
eyes
thought
on
about
here.
making plays available to high school drama groups? Good question.
I would love to. If any of them would like to read my plays, they'd be very welcome to them.
Yeah, that'd be a great way to become known, and it would that's rewarding kind of stuff there.
I have one if it's a backstage comedy, if they want a big cast. My musicals have small casts, but this one was one of my earlier plays. It's called the Cliche Springs Dinner Theater, and maybe some small theater would like to do it sometime. I think we were able to have one performance of it during a play festival in Austin back in the 90s. But it's backstage. It's based on my experiences at Zachary Scott Theater, which is the main theater in Austin. A friend of mine was the box office manager, and the character's kind of based on her.
Oh, cool.
The main character, yeah. And then all the other theater types, and all their quirks and jealousies, and I even have a local historic group called the Daughters of the Battle of Cliche Springs, and a professor from the University of Texas is commissioned to write a play about it, but she decides to write the real historical facts, and the Daughters of the Battle of Cliche Springs did not appreciate it. And it's got three plays within the play. It's got Ibsen and Chekhov and Shakespeare, and it's got one that's it has that one, the Battle of Cliche Springs, and what is the other one? I can't remember what the other one is, but
hang on,
they're all different.
A new local lady, Gracie, who I've been working with on that support group, is in the chat room. Hi, Gracie. How are you?
Hi, Gracie.
Make yourself to home and enjoy. Glad you're here.
Oh, I know what the other one is. It's kind of a takeoff on what's his name? Simon. Can't remember his first name now. Neil Simon. It's kind of a takeoff on Neil Simon.
Oh,
yeah.
Not Paul Simon.
Not Paul Simon. He hasn't written many plays.
Well, cool. Yeah. I'm like scanning down here.
Oh, sure. Let's see if there are any other
So
questions.
Like Holly's talking about the Little Theater in Walla Walla, who I hate to throw this out. So I won't. Never mind.
You don't like Walla Walla?
I like Walla Walla. It's a little theater. I felt like I was I auditioned for a part in Calendar Girls there, and I felt like I was discriminated against.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
I didn't really get a good shot at getting a part.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to do feeling good. I really wasn't sure that I had the time to do the part. And so it just rubbed me the wrong way,
Oh, I know the feeling.
Down.
Yeah.
Because of the time commitment. Those folks at the Little Theater are freaking serious.
Oh, I know.
And it's like 5 days a week and for several hours each night. And Gracie's done theater and that's cool.
And Holly says that she was a stage manager for 5 years and she loved it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, if you want a part in Cliche Springs Dinner Theater, you can play Angie, the main character.
Oh, cool. I'm always looking for parts.
Parts is parts.
To choke myself here with this.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. So,
Walla Walla community does not discriminate. Kevin Lutmer, theater director. Cool.
Yeah, I've met Kevin. He does a lot of stuff with that Little theater. I did actually have a part at the Little Theater one time, and I got to do Arsenic and Old Lace as one of the ants. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Well, it was just a little vignette out of it, just one scene, and
Oh yeah.
but hey, it was a start. You know, it was my first big part. So yeah. So, well, I write short stories. I mean, we've talked about that
Yeah,
here.
I've done a little of that.
And so yeah. No need to go down that path.
Oh no. We'd like to hear that sometime. Yeah.
What's that?
Like to hear your short stories.
Oh, I should make a video of the one that got published.
Oh, there you go.
Although it would probably have to be like a 2-part. It's what, 10 pages roughly. So a little long for one sitting to have somebody read it,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hadn't thought about doing that one. I've done a couple others, that I've put up that were shorter, about 1,500 words or so. Oh, somebody could play. Oh, Holly could play the dead body in the window seat.
That takes a lot of discipline.
Oh my God. Yeah. Try to keep from laughing or something.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to see the chest going up and down on a dead body.
Yeah, always worried about. Oh my gosh. So we were talking about me lighting up a room, and when I got up to make my coffee, I was like, I didn't shut my camera off on the computer, and oh my God, my legs were just like horrible white sticks. It was so funny. I was so glad that you couldn't see me. Now here I'm telling you about it. Oh dear.
Let's see.
We got any more questions out there?
Yeah.
So, I guess we're off the hook. Well, it was a nice quick show today.
Is the show over?
No, I'm kidding.
Would you like to hear a poem from my novel, my play, Among Amazons, set in San Francisco in the 1970s? Let's see if I can find it here.
Cool. So anyway, why am I short on words today?
I don't know.
Unreal. This is so unlike me to not have much to say.
Dadgummit, I can't find it.
Spring has sprung here. This is what's way cool. Is here we are 2 weeks ago, there was like a foot of snow outside my door. And this afternoon, when I am done here, I am going to go play 9 holes of golf.
Oh, you're a golfer?
I am. I started, probably question above from earlier. Did I miss one? We answered that one. The only one I saw. Texas tornadoes. Hey, Teresa.
Yes.
Hey, baby, que paso? I am like, what's the one I'm always singing in my head is this Cowboy Peyton Place. She was drunk and I was stoned, and I'm in love with the guitar player's wife, and
Wow.
and we're lost in this Cowboy Peyton place.
That's great.
Classic. The only question I see we've already done, Christy, about the high school plays beats snow blowing.
Yeah.
Regina show. Oh, singing. Regina singing. Oh, my stars. Are we ready?
You want to sing?
We could do it now or later. I don't care. If we do it later, everybody will stick around. You know how
let's keep them hanging on for that with bated breath.
You know, I was thinking about this earlier. Did Ed Sullivan bring the Beatles out first thing?
No. He brought up Topo Gigio and the plate spinner.
Yeah. And Topo Gigio.
Oh, Eddie, I love you. I know a woman who talks just like that. She's from Italy.
So yeah, you guys get me and Louise here. We're from the same generation, you know.
Yeah.
We're over 60.
Yes.
Plus a little bit.
Okay.
So
this is a poem.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically about life on the streets of San Francisco. It's called Ellis Street Suite. A little girl, just under 6 feet, shuffles swiftly between painted towers, stalking down Ellis Street. How much less bogus are you than they? Does your wry smile betray a lingering insecurity? Shy little girl, pushing 30. Who could imagine even you could be a total virgin? Yet here you go through Proposition Alley and down Queens Row. This is the crucible in the bowels of the tenderloin. Here there are few smiles, but many sneers. Here expressions are jaded, faded, and blank, but for sly, dissecting eyes. Here you must survive the glares. Here you must pass. You cannot escape the scrutiny of the derelict, hustler, merchant, addict, prostitute, tourist, closet queen, waitress, monster of countless eyes and absent heart. You're so together today, little fox. You shine so you flash the sun back on himself. And your beautiful soul eclipses your petty flaws. This afternoon, you hear only, "Hey, pretty lady, girl, you got fine legs. Where you going, mama?" You pass sternly by, then smile to yourself. Don't lie, you know you do, little fox. The street echoes a Dylan refrain. The street moans of desolation. The street screams of each new ripoff. The street is the world, the environment, the home, the shelter, the cave, the cage. Shy little girl, just under 6 feet. You can be hometown sweetheart if you make it on Ellis Street.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So here's that other question. And I think it's, or would people be able to get them other places?
Get what other places?
Your works.
Oh. Well, you can find many of them online, and I can give you the link to that if you like. And anybody who wants to do them, I will be happy to send out a script, whatever they want.
Hi, Maylin. How are you doing?
Hey, Maylin.
Good to see you here today. Yeah, so Casey, I think that was Casey that asked that question.
Hi, Casey.
So, yeah.
But if you want to write this down, CALICHE.tripod.com. And then many of my works are there. And this play is, after that, it's /among.html.
I think my moderators are getting a little out of hand with their
Uh-oh.
groaning
Uh-oh. I'm
humor.
boring them.
You never see a good plate spinner anymore. What happened?
I
Didn't they have
know.
a union?
I
I know. I mean,
know. What happened to them?
for all those bad things that were on those variety shows growing up, I miss them.
Oh, Ed Sullivan had variety for sure.
Oh
And
my gosh. Yeah.
opera and stand-up comics and plate spinners and puppets. And the Muppets were there earlier in their career.
Yeah. Who else was there?
Oh,
It
you
was
know, Jack Benny and Bob Hope.
the
and
acrobatic, the
acrobats. Oh, yeah, they had acrobats from Argentina.
Sitting on a chair that was resting on one leg in the middle of his forehead.
Yes.
How could anybody do that? Or let me re-ask that question. How could anybody want to do that? Have that chair like on the top of their head, one leg, and then have their brother sitting in it.
Yeah, and the brother is on a balance board, on a like a barrel,
So as much as the world's changed, we kind of lose out on these things.
That is true.
Sure, there's all these little whims of entertainment we can get, but true entertainment, such as what happened on television.
Well, you can find a lot of it on YouTube. There's some weird things on YouTube.
But I always kind of drift. What was the name of that one? Oh gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. Jackass. That's always the kind of stuff that I watch. Is it
was like a prank show.
I mean, there was that movie Jackass, and
right. They did all these weird things. Yeah.
and it was just cruel. And then we would, when they would like fall on their petard, we would laugh.
Yeah. Casey says about the jugglers. No union. The jugglers got dibs on the last union rep. Wait, who? Oh, I guess about the plate spinners. The jugglers got the union.
Oh, because the jugglers are still around?
Oh, yeah, there are jugglers still around. Yeah, and magicians.
Plate spinner, I always associated that with IT management. Christy. Oh my gosh. So you guys. Oh, mercy.
Any questions out there?
I feel like the deer caught in the headlights today. I said I was going to take a week off, and then I never did. I did an impromptu show that day instead, and now, and then we go dark, and maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to threaten to take another week off. Trick photography. They all remember.
Okay.
I met your daughter the other day, Teresa. What a charming young woman.
Oh, nice. Christy Wood says, question, anything in the works or being considered? Me or Regina? I'm actually, myself, I'm planning to get back to a musical I've already written, except I'm having trouble getting the songs the way I like it. So I need to get back to that. And I might get some help with that. I really need a composer who knows early jazz, like Hollywood and society jazz.
Oh, big jazz,
yeah,
stuff.
Well, actually, it's based on the early Hollywood musicals of Warner Brothers and
Uh-huh.
RKO. You know, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers,
Love that.
42nd Street, and all those. And it's got kind of an ensemble cast, and you know, it's behind the scenes thing like that. But it's based on that kind of musical, updated a little bit. It's a little bit more
Uh-huh.
racially sensitive than they were back in those days.
What was that movie that I felt like was kind of, oh gosh, LA was in the name of it. Just a couple years ago.
You mean La La
One,
Land?
yeah.
Yeah, that was okay.
I really thought that movie was swell.
Yeah, it has some good things. I
Above
like the traffic
Question,
jam music production at the beginning. That worked.
see Above Question, which Above Question, Holly, the one about works in the what's in
For
the
you
word?
both, see Above Question.
Oh, so you want me to answer?
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Oh, my stars. You know, I would love to be able to sit down and write, but I just don't ever sit down. You know, and a poet friend of mine who was also like head of the department at the college I went to of the creative writing area, and he told me that I had a disease called button chair. and and he says, you're really a good writer, but you can't seem to keep your butt in the chair. And I find that true to this day. You know, it caused some problems. You know, after I got out of college, I got married, and I would like sit there and be in that creative mode. And when I get in that creative mode, I don't want to leave my office. You know, I would just be creative, and then dinner would be ready, and I would say, "Yeah, I'll be there in a while," and that didn't fly. And so then I quit writing.
Yeah. Well, I got in the habit of writing, you know, when the weather was nice outside, writing on the patio, and that took me through my second musical, my second produced musical. But I guess this last year I've just been putting it off too much. I've kind of made half-hearted attempts a couple of times, but I just haven't really gotten back into it, and I need to. When I wrote the Hamlet play, Hamlet the Dane, Orange Now for Something Completely Rotten in the State of Denmark, I was writing that and my musical Chanteuse, and what else at the same time? Probably Cliche Springs Dinner Theater, all at the same time. And that worked for me because they're all different kinds of genre. And so one didn't bleed into the other too much. And so if I got writer's block on one, I could go to another. And that worked for me for several years.
Oh, wow.
I just need to get back in the habit. I write poetry now for these open mics, and I go to some other open mics other than the ones that I host. So that's what I've been doing lately, just writing poetry each time I have one of those.
Yeah.
Little short poems.
That's the beauty about poetry. I don't know, for some reason, I just never really got into writing poetry. I've written a few poems.
Yeah.
And I was in a writing group here several years ago, and you know, one of the people in there was a poet, really, and we made her write short stories, and so, but we also put in that we had to give her each of us needed to write a poem once in a while, and so that was. really one of the few times that I've ever really tried to write poetry. And
Yeah.
and then there's another lady who runs around town here who was an instructor at the college I went to, and she read one of my impromptu poems one time and just shook her head and left the building. She didn't really care for it. She said, "I need some work," and I thought, well, that was written in 30 seconds, just to show some child. Here's another question. Our opinion of Fried Green Tomatoes by Fanny.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. I don't know. I haven't really read it or seen the
I've
play.
never read the book.
The movie's very well done. Definitely.
Yeah, it was a good movie, didn't it? Didn't it win a bunch of Academy Awards and whatnot?
It might have. I just don't remember. But yeah, it certainly got some nominations, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I guess all in all, I don't have much of an opinion.
And Christy says a favorite play, Sheer Madness, in which I'm not familiar with.
What do you see? What is your favorite play?
Down at the bottom. Oh, Elaine says you have an interesting life, Louise. Thank you.
How sweet is that?
It is very sweet. Not really true, but I can see how she could get the wrong impression.
That's funny. I was talking about that the other day, and our own perception of our life is just like,
yeah. I mean, we're all trans, right? That's interesting. We're all interesting.
Yes.
I mean,
but we're we're just trying to get through life.
Yeah.
One of us.
That's it. There's nothing sensational about us.
All that interesting.
We're just people,
Yeah. People say, "Oh, Regina, you need to write your life story," and I'm going, why? It's just ultimately boring to me. Yeah. I have no interest in writing my life story. Yeah. I thought here a year or two ago that I would try. I got through a paragraph and I was just bored to tears, trying to write about my childhood. There's nothing interesting to say about it. The main thing I remember about my childhood is the fact that I always wanted to be somebody else who led an interesting life,
Yeah.
I was like,
that's what childhoods are for,
Yes. Yeah. If it had to do with me, I did not want to be that person.
Casey says, "Hey, some of us have boring lives. We live through you. Ha ha." Oh, that is very sad if you're living through me.
The importance of being earnest.
Oh, yeah, that's a great play. Holly says, write a book about coffee roasting. I guess that's probably for you.
I'm probably not going to write about that either because, there was a smart man once said, if you open your mouth, but if you keep your mouth closed, they just wonder.
That's right.
And so when it comes down to coffee roasting, if I was to write a book about it, everyone would know that I don't know anything. And by not writing the book, you all think that I'm relatively, obviously, from what Holly just said, you think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But do you know the origin of the discovery of coffee?
Oh, the story about the goats? Of course I do.
The goats, yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, I even know
tell us all about
coffee
that.
And have drank that coffee and the Ethiopian Harar bean is rumored to be the original coffee.
Yeah. I think that it was discovered in Yemen, but it was all over that area.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But the goats were getting very hyper, and the herders were wondering what made them do that. And they saw them eating these beans.
Well, I'm all for the war on Yemen to be over so we can get Yemenese coffee again.
Yeah.
Because there used to be, back before the atrocities, there would be coffee that would come off these 400-year-old plants.
Yeah.
And it was really good coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, and nothing, not like a Gesha or like the Jamaican Blue Mountain or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was just a darn good coffee, and it was theoretically off a 400-year-old plant.
I even wrote a poem about it called Yumpin' Yemeni.
Oh, wasn't that Yosemite Sam or something that wrote that?
No, it was Wally the Walrus in the
Woody
Chili
Woodpecker.
Willy cartoons.
Yeah.
He apparently was Swedish.
Yeah.
Yumpin' Yemeni.
Yeah, Walter Lantz, I think that was.
Walter Lantz, yeah.
Oh, it's nice to talk with somebody that knows who Walter Lantz was.
Mm-hmm. Do you know who did the voice of Woody Woodpecker?
I really don't.
His wife, Gracie.
Walter Lantz's wife, Gracie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he used to have a show back in the 50s, maybe early 60s. And he did kind of what Walt Disney did about showing the behind the scenes of,
I remember
making cartoons. Yeah.
Yeah. I was always a big Woody Woodpecker fan because he was kind of like a ornery little bastard.
He was early, and then back in the 30s and 40s, and then by the 50s they cleaned him up a lot, and he was just boring. But those early Woody Woodpecker, like the one where Woody and he was even drawn differently than he was later.
Yeah.
He and this cat were holed up in a cabin in a blizzard, and they were each eyeing each other with, as roast turkeys. And
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably why I spent so much time in the back country, is trying to get locked in a cabin with somebody to eat. Holly knows.
Yeah.
So oh dear.
Yeah, we could talk about cartoons forever.
I know.
Rocky and Bullwinkle. And
I never was a big Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, really? Oh, they were the best.
I was hung up in those days on Tudor Turtle.
Oh, yes.
The one that always wanted to be somebody else.
Mr. Lizard. Mr. Wizard the Lizard.
It's time for...
Always I tell you to be just that you is, not that you is not. Folks that do this is the happiest lot.
Yes. I hadn't heard that line for a long time.
I have all this stuff in my head and I can't get rid of it.
Oh my God. Isn't that awful? I've never, I can't remember a line. That's why it's so hard for acting.
Yeah.
I just in
one
ear.
I don't know if I could do it anymore.
Because of my hearing difficulties, I'm thinking I might not ever be in a play again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure they could work around that.
Alyssa Fontaine, here's a question that I will answer. So Kopi Luwak is what you are talking about. And they did a whole, on the bucket list movie that was one of the bucket list. So what they were doing was picking up wild civet cats.
Oh yes, I've heard about that.
And
they're
then,
not really cats, but they're more like a mongoose.
Yeah. And then they would clean out the beans, and it's already gone through a little bit of a chemical process.
Yes.
Fermentation. And so it gets all washed up and makes coffee. Well, what happened is people started collecting these civet cats and feeding them coffee, force feeding them coffee, and then selling this coffee for a real high price deal. And that's why you never see,
because it's been through their guts.
Because, well, I was like dealing with somebody in Sumatra at one point trying to get some, and they were telling me how they were going to ship it over here for nothing. And it was just, a scam. And it's
not that much better coffee
at one time.
Yeah.
But I think now they've been put out of business.
Teresa brings up Sugar Bear. Remember Sugar Bear? Bet your booty's granny. Can't get enough of that sugar crisp.
Oh, yeah.
They imitated Bing Crosby's voice for that character.
Oh, the Sugar Bear commercial lives in Walla Walla.
Well, oh, really? Yeah. It was a whole TV show. That he did commercials, but it was a whole Saturday morning show.
That's right. I don't think I ever watched that show.
Billy Bird would loop around the
Sugar Crisp.
Yes.
But I want to.
Bet your booty's granny.
Museum, is that the one? The Unnatural Museum, funky little weird museum you're speaking of, Teresa?
Whoa.
Because I went there and it was unnatural. And I talked to the guy a little bit. I was going to take him in the Rector set, and then I never did do it.
There's a Museum of the Weird in Austin. They have all kinds of strange and creepy things. Those kind of things are just great little tourist traps. I like them. Yeah.
Whoops.
Holly says, I drink 8 to 10 cups of coffee per day. Wow. You are wired.
Whew. Boy, I get clicking on those, and we took Justin Roger once. Oh, yeah, there's the one. That's it. You've been there. Yeah. That was a cool place. Is that guy's still alive? He's getting pretty old.
Holly says, I sleep about 5 hours a day. Coffee does not keep me awake.
Oh, my. I had a cup late last night, and I fell asleep like a little baby.
Mm.
At 2:00 this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, my. But, what I have found, honestly, is my quality coffees do not keep me awake. But if I go someplace and drink a cup of cheap coffee late, it'll get me so freaking wired because they use a different kind of coffee. They use the Robustas in those cheap coffees that are, grown in Southeast Asia in the low country, and they're higher in caffeine, and they use them in espressos a lot, in low quality espresso coffees, because it'll make the crema off that shot more. There's more crema, but the bubble size is larger.
Yeah.
And so you can always tell, and that stuff is bitter. That's why coffee is so bitter.
Yeah, I don't drink much coffee. I drink a lot of iced tea, but sometimes I'll have a mocha frappuccino, Starbucks. From the when I drove from Austin to Galveston the other day, I started getting sleepy in like the last, 100 miles or so.
Uh-huh.
So I pulled over and I got a mocha frappuccino, and that kept me going.
Oh, cool.
But I named my late cat who died last year. I named her Mocha Cappuccino.
Who'd you name that?
My cat, Mocha
Mocha
Cappuccino,
Cappuccino.
because she looked like she was chocolate and coffee swirled together.
Oh,
She was
cool.
a tortoiseshell cat,
I always like a good mocha after late at night,
Mm.
after dinner. Mm. When we did live music at the coffee shop in the evenings, I always had a mocha, because I made my own chocolate sauce, and
Mm.
it was pretty rich.
Mm.
And oh gosh.
I've been in the habit of eating the chocolate morsels that you make chocolate chip cookies out of.
Right.
And I just eat the individual morsels as my candy.
Well, I like those.
Yeah.
When I was making that chocolate sauce, I would buy big bags of like 70% chocolate chips,
Mm.
and I would melt that down to make
Yeah,
that.
I like the semi-sweet and the dark chocolate, not the milk chocolate so much.
Yeah. And so when I quit, I had this 3 pounds of that chocolate left.
Oh.
And you know what? Today, I don't have any of those chips left.
Yeah.
I had to go on the thing about dark chocolate is there's less sugar in it. And so you can eat it and not really gain weight or anything.
And they're tiny, so you don't think that you're getting that many calories until you've had a whole bag of them.
Right. Yeah. I went to a chocolate factory down in Belize one time. In Punta Gorda. And that was really interesting. It wasn't anything like Willy Wonka.
Mm.
Nothing like it, but it was much more interesting, I found.
Mm. Have you ever been go ahead.
I like to play Willy Wonka.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever been to Ghirardelli Square in San Francisco?
I have, but I haven't. Yeah. San Francisco's not a place I've gone to recently either. Mm. It was like years.
It's a neat place. I lived in that area a couple of years while I was in my transition, and I made friends there. Actually, I worked at the local counterculture church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Glide Memorial Church. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No,
but it was kind of the prototype for Flip Wilson's Church of What's Happening Now. And if you ever saw Sweet Charity, it was kind of the church in that Ben Vereen, was in. It was kind of based on that. But it's a Methodist church, but it's very counterculture, and they would have do a lot of charities, a lot of street work. When I was there, I actually took a call from Randolph Hearst, the son of William Randolph Hearst.
Oh.
And the father of Patty Hearst, because he was trying to find out if they'd heard anything on the street about where Patty might be. So I transfer that call, so that's my part in history.
Well, now look at you. Oh, rubbing shoulders with
well, over the telephone.
and the one I would want to rub shoulders with was Patty. I think that I preceded you and fly into the airport and never get off the plane. I haven't wandered around in San Francisco since 1970.
Yeah. That's a beautiful place.
And And one time we even went down on the wharf and
Fisherman's Wharf.
panhandled,
Oh
played
yeah.
music, was a busker on the,
Oh, that's
with our
cool.
hats sitting out there. I played harmonica and my friend
Huh.
played guitar and sang and
Wow.
I think we made 25 cents or something like that.
But that was a lot of money in those days.
Oh gosh.
No,
Well,
it wasn't.
problem was is we were in the service, our shoes were shined,
Yeah.
spit shined, and little couple of radical Navy boys and oh mercy, the
Oh
things
my
I
goodness. Holly
but
says 330 Ellis Street, San Francisco, California, 94102. Wow. Oh, yeah, I was talking about Ellis Street. When I read that poem to people, they said, "Oh, you should say, let's see, did they say you should say Polk Street because that's where all the drag queens are and everything." I said, "But I experienced this on Ellis Street, and that's why I'm calling it Ellis Street. And besides, it fits the meter of the poem better." So, but so Holly, what happened on 330 Ellis Street? I lived in a little apartment complex called at Polk and Larkin. I forget what the name of it was.
So here's a question, Louise.
Uh-huh.
Do you or have you visited San Francisco over the years or recently? Have you been back?
Not recently, but I've been back a couple of times. I actually went back the year after I left that area and visited my friends there. I've been back 3 times. That was in 1978, I think. And then I went back in 1989 at Christmas time, and it was 3 months after this big earthquake they had,
Oh wow!
which they had in October of that year. But I was there
Interrupted the
in
World Series.
December. Yeah, and and uh, and I heard my mother said that my pipes froze at my apartment. I guess it was a duplex I was living in then, and my father took care of it. But we don't really have freezing weather in Austin in December, even around Christmas time, and that was something totally took me off guard. And then I went back with my former boyfriend in about in 2003, I think it was, something like 2004.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I did a lot of travel in the early 21st century, New England and Seattle and San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
And I went back to see the daughter of my friend who had already grown up by then and been married. So so yeah, I've been back a couple of times. I haven't been back since the first decade of this century.
Yeah, when I decided at one point that there was nothing in California for me because there was too many people. I mean, I'm a small town girl,
Yeah.
and here I live in this little town here, and I said that the next time I went to California, I was going to go from winery to winery,
Oh yes.
and
Oh,
then
I took the winery tour in Washington State when I was there.
oh
Go ahead.
yeah, we're like thick as they're everywhere here. Well, and then so I said that 40 years ago or 50 years ago, and then I quit drinking 30 years ago. And so there was never any reason to go to California because,
Yeah.
well, I said I was only going to go from winery to winery,
Yeah.
and then I quit drinking. So it doesn't make sense to go.
Doesn't make sense at all.
I mean, I'd kind of like to go. I want to go down to the coffee place. I really, and then I've got some friends in Palm Springs,
Yeah.
and I would like to go see them. And I mean, there's things to do. And
Oh, everywhere in San Francisco, everywhere you turn, it's a postcard.
And I've got friends in San Francisco. You know,
Yeah.
my partner that passed away here a few years ago, she lived in San Francisco for 30 years. And her cousin, Jack, bless his heart, he still lives down there. And her sister lives in El Cerrito.
Oh.
And so I can go down and visit with them too. So
Casey says, grabs notebook, keeps adding check marks to Louise's life.
Oh dear.
Oh, yeah, you must have a very sad life, Casey.
Casey's so funny.
And Christy was at last in San Francisco in 2008.
Yeah, when I was down in San Francisco, I was there for about a month, I think, awaiting things to change. And I got to go to Winterland one time and saw the Jefferson airplane. I think they were
wow.
airplane. And it's a beautiful day in Santana. And
It's beautiful
the regular
day.
San Francisco group. And
Wow.
a benefit for the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And
See,
then
I was there 10 years after it was all over with.
Oh, wow. And I got to go to the Fillmore West one night too, and saw the band Mountain and Jack Bruce, who was the bassist for Cream, was also was the opening act that night.
Yeah. I never even saw Janis Joplin when she was in Austin.
Oh, wow.
You know, she started her career there.
Right, yeah.
Let's see what Casey says. Walks into a store and whines. And Holly says, I love sourdough bread from Sausalito, which is right across the bay. And I had escargot for the first time in Sausalito.
Oh, wow.
And it was okay. It was very buttery and
Teresa gives us a Jack
slimy.
Bruce. Rest in peace.
Jack Bruce.
Yeah, he died here a couple months ago. Sad.
Oh, and Lawrence Ferlinghetti died last week.
God, here we are first off here in this year, and I don't know, I hit the clickbait last night to see who all had died already this year of celebrities, and God, it was like 20 of them have already passed this year. It's just like sad.
Yeah.
And but
he was over 100, I think, so that's pretty good.
Jack Bruce or
no, Ferlinghetti.
Oh yeah.
City Lights Bookstore, one of the Beat Generation poets.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember if I saw his name on that list.
Yeah. It wasn't very long ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
Holly says, I won't eat snails. They are related to slugs. Yuck. But then so are oysters and octopuses and squid. Calamari is related to slugs. So.
We can't eat that because it's related to that. I mean, I always find octopus to be quite tantalizing and good, and I went octopus hunting one time, and I would, when that octopus latched onto me and I thought I was a goner, I really had no problem eating it afterwards.
I see. It was eat or be eaten.
Exactly.
I like oysters on the half shell.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go oyster picking and sit there on the beach. You couldn't take the shells off the beach, if you were wild picking. And so we would sit there and chuck them out and just suck them up. And then one time Okay, bad story. But I went to somebody's, got a hit of LSD.
Oh,
And then it was my old friend. And so here we are tripping on this acid, and the big old wash tub of oysters comes out.
oh my God.
And so like I shuck my oyster and then
That takes a learning curve to shuck oysters. It's not easy.
oh my God, that was more than I could deal with, and I've not eaten a raw oyster since, and I haven't dropped any LSD.
You have to really want to eat an oyster to shuck it.
Oh my God! It was the end of two things: eating raw oysters and LSD. That's all I'm going to say about it. I was 25 years old or something like that, and I don't know. It's yes,
that's true. Slugs and snails are gastropods, not closely related to.
Well,
to the others.
Mollusks too.
Yeah, and the squid and cuttlefish, they're cephalopods, and very smart.
Yeah.
An octopus can get out of anything, because they don't have any bones. The only hard thing in their body is the beak, and anything that's no larger than their beak, they can slide through.
So my big octopus hunting story was like the octopus. It was in this little dinghy, rubber raft, and we had it in a bag, and I was supposed to take it in and put it in a bucket.
Yeah.
And so the diver dude, he's out there trying to find another one. And so I'm taking this back to shore, and I turn around and look, and here comes this octopus over the side of it. Had gotten out of the bag, and I can barely swim. At that time, I was not a good swimmer. I really shouldn't have been out there in the middle of the ocean.
Oh yeah.
But come find out, if you got a wetsuit on and I think the day was like 32 degrees or something. It was cold. And so this thing is latching on to me as I'm trying to hold it into that little rubber raft. And we fight all the way into shore. Of course, I think by the time I could walk instead of swim, and goodness gracious, Louise, it was, and then trying to get it into that bucket was a whole nother experience, and one I hope I never have to live again.
Yeah.
It was, that thing kept latching on to me.
Oh, sure.
Now
they taste you that way.
I'm sure. And she gets these cups, heats them up and sticks them onto you, cupping. And no different than the octopus grabbing onto you. Trust me.
Christy says, LOL, Regina's octopus wrestling story.
Right on.
And Holly pet an octopus at the zoo in Tacoma.
Well, I'm not touching no damn octopus. Other than when I go to the sushi shop and they slice it real thin, that's the only way I'm touching an octopus. That wasn't in the preview of coming attractions.
No.
The octopus. Well, but I did say that you wouldn't be able to know where this conversation would go.
That's right. That's the way I like it.
And so here we are talking about octopus wrestling in the great Pacific Northwest on a frozen day.
Yeah. So does anyone out there have an idea what they'd like to talk about? Holly says, we biologists are brave.
What was that you just said?
Holly said, we biologists are brave.
I saw that, yeah. As a biologist, let me put that up there.
I was a biology major at one time.
And we biologists are all brave.
That's right. But my physics and chemistry, especially organic chemistry, was bad, so I had to switch over, and I became a history major. That's what I graduated with.
Oh, cool.
But I'm still interested in all these subjects, and I grew up. My folks got me a World Book Encyclopedia, 1959 World Book Encyclopedia, and I would just go through a volume, just page after page, and looking up anything I was interested in. And then when the internet came around, I've been doing that since then. And I watch all these, evolution and biology and astronomy shows on YouTube and history. Ancient history stuff. It's really fascinating.
So our friend Marty has popped in. How wonderful seeing you together.
Oh, Marty, welcome.
Hi, sweetie. And then whoops, it moved again. The Biology Babe podcast.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah. Oh, I love being a biology babe.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Holly majored in microbiology and zoology and hated organic chemistry. I don't blame you.
I got out of doing the organic chemistry. That's a whole nother,
very complicated.
Undergraduate. And it went.
And Violaine says, have you ever traveled to another country? I have. Being in Texas, I've traveled to Mexico, and I've also traveled to the United States.
I've been to Canada a couple, 2-3 times. I've been to Mexico, and I've been to Belize, Guatemala.
Wow.
And, Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala. I went to Tikal in Guatemala.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was like really.
Is that Mayan or that's Mayan?
Mayan, yeah. They let you. It was a tour. I think you see about 5% of the site.
Is that where the caracal is?
The who?
The caracal. It's a temple shaped like a snail shell. Caracal is Spanish for snail.
Yeah,
it's somewhere in Belize, Guatemala, or Yucatan in Mexico, somewhere in that area. It's a Mayan site.
Let me see.
Holly says organic chemistry sucks.
Honey.
Marty says, let me sit on your lap and talk about the elements chart.
So good to see you today, Miss Marty.
Yeah. There's a poet who, actually, she took over one of my open mics when I started staying in Galveston a lot. And she's taller than I am. She's about 6 feet tall, sis. Yay. and she has written poems about, I think she's gotten through the whole periodic table of elements. She's written a poem about each chemical in the periodic tables. Yes. And she also writes about astronomy and things like that as well.
Wow. I wonder. That's interesting. Interesting. That's a real feat there.
Yeah.
Look at Christy go. Bahamas, Jamaica, Germany, South Korea, Thailand, and Nepal.
Wow.
Yeah. Hi, lovely cyber sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
So good to see Miss Marty here today.
Yeah. We got a good group here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not been really huge today, but, we're having a good time.
Not bad. Periodic table, that's what I was trying to think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Periodic table of elements, yeah.
So, nothing about the elements that I'm not willing to explore. Oh,
Well,
did I say
when
that?
I was young, the elements were earth, fire, water, and air.
Oh dear. Well, they keep adding to it now.
I know there's like 100 and something.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh. You go, girls. What? We miss one from.
Oh, did we miss any? Let's see.
I don't think so. I was thinking we might have missed one. Oh, Holly's been to Canada and Mexico.
Yeah,
Oh dear. I got the wrong one.
it covers
Yeah,
North America.
When you're this close to Canada, I mean, we
Oh,
always
I know. When I
grew
went to
up,
New
was
England,
like
I was
hours
in Maine.
south of the border.
In Vermont, I could have gone to Canada. But it was right after 9/11, so probably would have been problematic. It was 3 weeks after 9/11, actually.
At one time, I owned a piece of property that was 2 miles from the border and up on the Columbia River, or it wasn't actually on the river, but just across the road from the river on a bench. And so we would go up to Trail and some of these little towns on the other side of the border. And just a couple of times is all. It seemed like the highway was the same over on that side as it was on our side, so it didn't make that much difference. I don't even remember going through the border, but yeah, it was kind of problematic because it was hard to remember to get rid of all your drugs before you got there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I think I still used and abused in those days when I was living up by there. I flew into Victoria here probably 10 years ago for a conference, and there's a big famous hotel down there that's I think it's a Fairmont, and it's kind of a
Canada.
And it was really a lot of fun to stay there, and it had some really weird rooms, and it had a formal tea room in it, and so you go have your afternoon tea, and it was a cool place. The museum was across the street, and of course I went to the museum.
Oh, they have a neat Japanese tea room at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, and
oh, cool!
And the Japanese tea garden there. It's wonderful, and the almond cookies. Neat.
So you know what time it is?
It is 3:28 Central Standard Time.
So it is probably
5:28 your time.
Do our song.
Oh, I know we've promised our.
I
fans.
know. So let me get my words ready because I don't want to like. This is
Should we like trade off verses or something?
Oh no!
Sing the chorus together.
I
sing it all through.
Need you to like lead me along here. Lead me astray.
All right, I can do that.
You all hang on because this is the Louise Regina.
It's going to be a bumpy ride
that has been promised forever. And are you ready?
Yes.
A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Yesterday.
All my troubles seem so far away. Now it seems as though I'm here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the girl I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why he had to
You
go,
go,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. She
He
wouldn't
wouldn't
say.
stay. I
I
said
said
something
something wrong.
wrong. Now
Now
I
I long
long
for
for
yesterday.
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 Love was
Love was such an easy game to
to play.
play. Now I
Now
need a place to hide away. Oh,
oh,
I believe in
yesterday.
yesterday.
Okay, so we did it.
Did we lose anybody here?
Oh, we've gone up to like 14 and no. The same now as it was before. That was fun. You've been doing that chat room and people are tuning in and singing songs all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The little group I put together. It kind of fell through from the original purpose, but now we're using it to chat in that group.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
Yeah, I kind of watch it and chime in every once in a while, but not very often.
Yes, indeed. Well, sometimes, yeah, as much as anybody, really.
Yeah. So, oh gosh, Beatles, Regina and Louise.
That's
great.
right.
Yeah. Well,
for those biologists out there, do you know what the great natural history biologist Dr. J.B.S. Haldane said about beetles?
That they're the most prolific species.
Yes, but the way he said it, he said, God, if he exists, has an inordinate fondness for beetles.
Yes.
Because 70% of all species on Earth are beetles.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which blows my mind. Because they have these wing covers. They have to lift up their wing covers so they can open up their wings and fly. Seems like that would get in the way, but it works for them somehow.
Somehow they manage.
Yeah.
I used to get to man the domestic beetle colony in college, and so then that was really quite interesting. Because like at Washington State, I'd get to go up to Washington State University and into their bug colony. And if you took anything in there that was wood, they wouldn't let you bring it out. It had to stay. They did not want, if it was to get into the Natural History Museum, it would destroy all, the bugs would be able to destroy all the skulls and feathers.
Ooh.
And so they needed to keep that isolated. It was down.
Yeah, they use, well, what is it, beetles that they use to strip the bodies of animals to get to the the skeletons?
That was what we were doing, was skulls and whatnot, because I would take bat skulls up there. Because our beetle colony wasn't very strong, because the person manning it, oh wait, that was me, because we had no idea. It was just trying to get it going, and it needed to be a pretty quite a few bugs, and we didn't really have a good place for it. It was interesting stuff. I identified a lot of bat skulls.
Oh, cool.
You look through a dissecting microscope at a bat skull, just they're about that big.
Are you familiar with Mexican free-tailed bats?
No, those were like bigger bats.
Yeah. Oh, like fruit bats or something. Yeah.
But our bats,
Austin, I'm always bragging about Austin, Texas.
Out how to 5-6 inches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Austin has the world's largest urban bat colony under the Congress Avenue Bridge. 2 million
really?
bats. Yeah, and people
Wow.
come out and watch. What between I think October and April or no, April and October. Oh well, during the summer months anyway, summer into fall, people come out to watch the bats leave from under the bridge about sundown.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
They
Our,
didn't build the bridge for the bats, but apparently it was perfect habitat for them.
our mutual friend Sarah here is wanting us to do another song.
Oh, okay. Holly's submajor in college was entomology.
Oh, cool.
I still remember most of the orders of insects.
Really?
Yes, there's the isopterans, which are the termites. There's the hymenopterans, which are the bees, the wasps, and the ants. There are the I think cockroaches are Blatodia.
Coleoptera.
Coleoptera are the beetles. Yeah.
Oh, I want to hold your hand right now.
What song shall we sing?
Oh, what song shall we sing? I don't know. Let me find some words. What song would you like to sing?
Oh, I know a bunch of them. Do you want to sing individual songs?
Oh God, no. No, let's not go down that road.
I was going to sing one that I wrote.
Oh, well, go ahead.
Okay. This is a song from my latest musical, Bluebonnet Road. And it's toward the end of the play. And the young girl's boyfriend feels like everybody has been kind of he's been set upon by everybody, and he kind of has been. And they're headed, after escaping a flood, they're headed back to Austin. And she says, walk with me in the oh gosh, walk with me in the twilight. I can't even remember my own song.
Oh dear. You want me to go ahead?
Go ahead and do something. It'll come back to me.
Oh God.
Damn.
No. Oh, I lost my.
That's weird.
Still here. Oh.
God. I got stage fright, I guess.
I'm not gonna. I can't sing by myself. I'm afraid. She's reading crib notes. That's it. I've been busted. I have been busted. So.
Okay, that's it. Walk with me in the sunset, and don't you fret about the day. In the twilight, we'll be all right. Just hold me tight, come what may. Always know that I love you. I'm thinking of you all the day long. After sundown, don't you wear a frown. Let's stroll to town, sing this song. Walk with me in the sunset, and don't you fret about the day. In the twilight, we'll be all right. Just hold me tight, come what may. That's it. That's how it goes. You okay?
Okay. I'm having a coughing attack here. See if I can find my voice.
It's around there somewhere.
Yeah. If I do one, I'm just going to do a single verse.
Okay.
This is an old Steely Dan song. See if I can do this. Katie tried. I was halfway crucified. I was on the other side of no tomorrow. You walked in and my life begun again. Just when I'd spent my last piaster I could borrow. All night long we would sing that stupid song, and every word we sang I knew was true. Are you with me, Dr. Wu? Are you really just a shadow of the man that I once knew? Or just an ordinary guy? Are you with me, doctor? Are you with me, doctor? Are you with me, doctor?
What is that from?
That's from a Steely Dan, Katie Lloyd album.
Wow, Piaster must be in the Netherlands somewhere.
No, they were an American rock and roll band.
No, but Piaster is a Dutch currency.
Yeah.
So somebody must have been in Holland at one point or another.
The whole reason why, because what song ever uses Piaster?
It's like plebeian. There's only one song I know that has plebeian in it.
Well, you're one up on me because
it's Cry Me a River.
Cry Me a River?
Yeah. Let's see. You can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. You said that you were through with me and said that love was too plebeian. It's plebeian.
Wow.
Julie London, sometime in 1960, I think. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So, oh my gosh, it's getting late and we should wrap this up now. We promised an hour and here we are at almost 2 hours.
Yeah, so, it was fun.
It has been fun, even though I was like speechless at times.
Yeah.
We got going. We did.
We moved it along.
And the great singers, the Steely Dan sisters. Christy I heard a reggae band play the hillbilly tune Rocky Top.
Oh, yeah. And somebody said earlier that my song sounded like actually, I think it's Calypso style. And I didn't mean it to be that way, but everybody says it is. So that's kind of the way we present it.
If I could get some crib notes of Cowboy Clayton plays, I would sing that.
That sounds like a winner.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, some of those songs it's hard to find the lyrics for. But
and Sarah says on the November song, please. I think she means the September song.
Oh. What's the November song? What's the September?
Well, she means September song. You don't know September song? It's a long, long way from May to December, and the days grow short when you reach September.
Oh.
And the days dwindle down to a precious few. September, November, and these few precious days I'll spend with you. These precious days I'll spend with you.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah.
It's a Kurt Weill song after his Bertolt Brecht period.
Oh, look at this. Holly being sassy here. I don't need drugs. I have you.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Oh, speaking of drugs and things, I heard, I don't know if anybody's heard this before, but I heard a slang term for the vaccinations. Fauci ouchie.
A Fauci ouchie. That's priceless. Oh dear. Okay, you guys. I'm gonna kick you out now, Louise. And
Okay.
thank you so much for
You're
being
welcome.
here
Thank you
today.
for having me
What a
on.
great time we've had.
Yeah.
And we'll have you come back again.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And we'll talk to you later.
Okay, we'll see ya.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
So everyone, we're going to wrap it up now. No readings, no nothing today. What happened there? So anyway, so long. Thank you all for being here, for making this a great afternoon. It was good to see you all here, and thank you so much, and take care. Love you all, and have a good week, and see you next week. See if I can find my way out the door here. So, yeah, this is good. You ever get into one of those loops where you keep looking for a way out and you have trouble finding it? Here I am. I'm stuck in the loop. So love you all, and take care, and bye-bye. Have a good one.